Okay, so here we got a game between Pryad in red and Patton in blue. Patton is named Firestarter, but I know that it was Patton because he's on my friend list, not Firestarter. I don't know what his friend list name is, whatever. Okay, so let's see the deployment. Let it go really quick. As you can see, the game is really fast, and you'll see why when it gets played. Pretty much, I think that I capture hotel with this helicopter because of the way it's set up. He has two CVs, you can see it. The UAZ, the U's at the end of it, just like mine. Okay, deployments. We got Tunguska, probably going to go help out Echo. These two are only going to Foxtrot. I'm actually going to send some infantry from here to go up this mountain. It's very important that you try to take this mountain from this side because this map is actually really unbalanced in that sense. Whoever takes this mountain and has a little bit of control here is really in a world ahead against the guy on this side. Alright, so my units are pretty self-explanatory, lots of infantry. He has a lot of infantry as well. He uses an AKM for anti-air, and that is about it. What do we got here? Alright, so he got two BTRDs and a 72A, so some recon over here. And he has a Buratino. That is the piece to watch out for. Alright, I will slow it down a little bit because nothing really is going to happen right now. So during this time, this is when you really try to pick out what unit goes where. And you just really want your units moving at the start immediately, at least in the general direction that they should be going. Just so that they're not late. Timing is everything in the beginning. Alright, so I'm probably going to see the enemy first because I have a Ka-52. He has recognized that he has absolutely no recon on the front. That is a big mistake. That's something that you should always have. Recon is super important and lets you know what your first 90-point investment can be. And 90-point investment is because at around this time you kind of get 90 points and it's just worth it. Okay, so I got a snippet of what's available to fight. Alright, so I'm going to do it from my perspective so that you see what's going on. I see some units over here. I have no idea what's what. I stopped this for whatever reason. I don't even know. So I'm going to slow it down. Some reason I can't see the units. I think that the K-52 is a little bit too far. So you saw some gunfire, BDR M3s, all of it. Or BTR-90s rather, same difference in terms of what they were firing. So one of the big things is what's going to happen in a couple seconds. Right there, that's a Buratino. I know that because of the ammo, the fire rate. Also, now you see this. He's firing right at this circle, which is a good idea. However, he is way early and I see it. That's the big deal. I bomb over here with my investment because I saw him deploy units. So now his shit is stunned, panicked, and look at this. His Buratino only took out nothing. And he's firing all 30 on this. Just this. If he waited and he kept it alive and kept the ammo on it, guess what? He would have been able to hit this next. But he doesn't, so that's a big mistake on his part, and he fucked it up. And look at this. I have units here, I have a unit to defend here, and I don't really care what happens. We both recon here, it's important. My Ka-29 killed both of those units. That's another big thing. It helped out with the Ka-52. So that OSA, take a look at this. He killed one unit so far. Just one. One Morskaya Pekota out of 30. That is literally nothing. I killed a couple of his Morskaya Pekota, which was helpful. But none of his BTR-90s, which is a big deal. This looks like tanks. Yes, it is. So I have all these units still alive, and his Buratino is still around, and this is not getting fired at just yet. I think that he can't even see it, honestly. Let's see. Oh, he can. Okay. So, boom, boom, boom. Alright, I'll put it on neutral so that you see everything. So, for some reason, he doesn't bring it back to base. That's another big mistake. Just bring it back to base if it's not covered. And look at this. I have a BTR-90 Spets GRU going right for it. That's the whole idea. He has a pretty good defensive hold here. I would have honestly brought the VDV over to this point so that you can get some recon, you can kill whatever comes. But look at this. I have 29. Look at how much infantry it has over here. And now look at this also. Morskaya Pekota, Spets GRU versing these tanks. Good luck, Spetsnaz. And I think I keep saying GRU, but it's because I like GRU much better than Spetsnaz. Poor bastards got wrecked. Morskaya Pekotsa killed a BTRD, that's why VDV is almost dead. However, Morskaya Pekotsa take 2 rockets to kill an SU-122, and they'll hit not as often as you'd like. He brought up another tank. Of all the units to bring up, he brought up a tank. He doesn't bring up AA. He just has 1. It's not good enough. So this guy I should have actually pulled back, but because of all the firepower, they're not going to do shit. Look at that. 1 shot panicked it. Something to note is the suppression value of the weapon fire. It's very important. Like when you're trying to get a support unit, that 422 on the Buratino, that's why you use a Buratino. 422 suppression per rocket. That means if it's next to that rocket, huge suppression value. The morale of the enemy is doing nothing. They're not going to be able to do anything. It's fantastic. I don't recognize this just yet, and so now I do, because he moved it. And I'm pretty sure that I start to move up. So VDV versus B-72As, the VDV should have hit, but they didn't, because they're panicked to begin with. Or actually, rather, they were panicked because they got hit, actually. As you can see, this K-29TB took out some BTR-90s earlier. It's very effective. I bombed this patch, pretty much kill everything. It's fantastic. For once, a bombing run did something. The Spetsnaz GRU killed that Buratino, and this is why he quits. Because he lost 140 point, the reason why he can push here easily, no problem. I have a tank, I killed his 72A, without even losing much of anything actually, that's kind of surprising. And I'm going to kill a Tunguska with a BTR-90, so that's unfortunate for him. You see that? 100, 200, that's 240 points to literally 0. That Buratino did nothing. It would have soaked up another 20 and another 40 and resupplied a fire again. My Morskaya panicked, his VDV panicked, Morskaya's gonna win. Sheer number game. I probably should have waited for my VDV to get out of this panicked state, but I have vehicles, and he has vehicles, and I know it. VDV should still be able to hit. Nothing really cheesy going on. For some reason I have an MLD in this deck, so it was a long time ago. People use the MLD. It is good. I know Guerrero, you'll see that next. He uses it. He uses it very effectively, actually. Give him props for his playstyle. I mean, it's very different, but it works. And he's very helicopter-oriented, however it works, you know? Can't really knock it too much. He does very well with his control. Whereas I lose helicopters left and right because I'm bad. I see this, eventually I try to kill it. But look at the units on the field. My B1's gonna die, it's surrounded by VDV. First of all, this VDV should have been there in the first place. Side shot it when it was over here, but it didn't, so that's his fault. B1, probably winning, especially against 72A. But it is panicked, that's surprising. We'll see. He forfeits. You see that? 650 points. I killed about 300 worth with 2 units that infiltrated that were worth 55 points. So you gotta be careful and put your super units that are very important. Make sure that you know the route that they're taking and you keep them covered.